Hey, it's Sarah. I'm here to share another junk journal with you guys. This is using a paper bag. Let me find one. Sorry. Using one of these, and what I did is I cut a piece of cardstock and put it inside to make it sturdier. So that's the outside, and then I used this paper collection. It is by Prima. It's called Affinity. Empathy, oh goodness. Yeah, Affinity. Empathy. Or Affinity. I don't know. Oh. I think it's called Affinity. I know I'm not saying that right. It's this paper collection, if you can pronounce it. So, anywho, I used that, and then I used a couple of the journal cards, 4x6. So that's that. Also, I used paper bags. They're from Michaels. They're the Celebrated brand. They're the bigger ones. They come in multiple sizes, like a bigger one and a smaller one, and then they come with like the little mini ones. So I use those, and yeah. So we'll open this up. First, the cover just has some of the paper line ripped up with some book pages behind it with cheesecloth and some doilies, and a little cluster here with a heart and little mini paper clothespin and seam binding, safety pin, and then there's this little bit of lace trim, medallion trim around there, and some more of the paper, and like the front. I just used some more of that craft text right here to make another kind of like a little belt, and I used some of those We Are Memory Keepers big wide eyelets. First, you open up, and I made a little pocket out of the paper line, and here's some tags. I just added some seam binding and a little bit of that rose trim. I just thought this was cute. You could journal on these tags. And then I added a little half of a journaling card so you could journal there. So the first page here, I made a flip up, and then I added some more of the journaling cards. This here, I added some of the paper line to it. You might laugh, but this is using one of those, you know how when you open up a Kleenex box and the top tab that you pull off, well, this is what that is. I don't know, I just kept it. I thought it was something unique and different, and I used it as a tag. I've been wanting to use them, but I didn't know what to use it on, and I was like, oh, I'm going to add it to this mini album. So, junk journal, mini albums. It's kind of a combination, you'll see. And here's one of those little journal cards that I just tucked in there, and that's magnetic, and so is the flap. So then you open it this way, and I added another flip, and I added another one of those from tissue box, and then I use these Tim Holtz, they're the back of the container that you buy when you buy his products. I just really like his tags. They're nice, and it's a shame to throw them away. You might as well use them. So I added another flip. Add a little mini pocket. Open it up, and there's another one here. But I just love the paper collection. I didn't really want to hide it, but I guess I could add that there. So then you have your spot here for a picture and a little bit of journaling down here. And then this is the paper bag, one of them. So then on this page, this starts like the junk journal kind of vibe that you would see in a junk journal. So this is a card, and I decorated it up with the paper. This strip of paper here, if you cut off the top of the paper pad, let me open this one up. I just used a whole 6x6 pad for that. Okay. So on the top of your page, like when you cut off your, let's take the paper out. So on the top of your page, when you cut it off, you have that strip, and what do you do with it? Most people just throw it away. So when I was doing this album, I kept on cutting it off. I'm gonna use that, add a little bit of trim to it, and that'll be like the edge of my papers. And it's really cute because Prima keeps the pattern the whole way up there. Most of them do, but I like that they follow the pattern the whole way up. And well, it's not really the pattern the whole way up, but they show you what each side of the paper is. So I thought that was really cute. I like that. So that's what I did there. And then you open up this side, and I just did the same thing on the opposite side. I added a book page, and then that's where I added that on the top again, on both sides, and added the trim to it. This is a dolly, and this is a glassine bag. Added some lace, and another one of these Tim Holtz. Use them as a tag. Just add a little bit of a decoration of the paper on it. This is a mini file folder, and I just added that paper to the top again on both sides. You can journal on the top of here that has those lines. Then I just added an envelope. This has one of those Velcro dot things on there, and added some of the journaling cards. That's actually the paper line. I forgot I had the 4x6 journaling cards until I was almost done with the album. And so I just cut the paper up 4 ways. It gave me 3x3s. Add a little plastic embellishment there with some trim. Add some lace. Add a dolly here on the back with a little journaling spot, and just add some of the paper with some fibers. This is the other side of that file folder, mini file folder, and I just added some muslin, ribbed muslin, and then on this side some cheesecloth and some script ribbon from Prima. And then another journaling spot here. This is the other side of the glassine bag. And I had another one of these Tim Holt tag things. Well, I'm using it as a tag. And then another part of the paper collection. And I just added some lace to the outside of the bag. And on this side, I added some lace and seam binding. This is the other part of that dolly. And this is the book page with a little bit of lace. And this is the back of the card. Just a little bit of book page, dolly, and a part of the paper collection. And again, I lined it with the top of that with the page. And I added some cheesecloth. And then this is just the back. So then the next page here is again the paper bag, and I just added another flap, pretty paper on there, another one of those tissue tags, tissue box tag. And this is another tissue box tag. It's actually the bigger one from a rectangle box. Part of the pretty paper here and here. I forgot to add some trim here. I was going to add some trim there so it wasn't so plain. I'll do that. Then you flip it over, and I added another flip here, and there's a couple journaling spots here. And the pretty paper tuck spot, and then pretty paper here. Then here's the second part of the junk journal kind of theme. This is just a pocket here. You can add a tag to it. Added some lace. This is just a mini version of the front of how I made the covers. This is the bag, and it's open. You can tuck something in there. This tea-dyed paper, a little bit of trim. Oval dolly. This is a pocket made out of book page and some of the journaling cards. A little bit of the lace and trim. And the other side of the dolly. And the tea-dyed paper with a little bit of trim on there. And seam binding on the back. Then this page is the back of the envelope, and I added another tag, and I added a strip here. I cut the top of the paper that had the hole there a little bit bigger, and then I cut it to size to make a belly band, and then this is the tuck spot, you could journal on the bottom on that, but it's mainly to hold this tag in there. And then this opens up, a couple journaling cards in there. And then I just added another journaling card. You can journal on there. And then this is the last page. Is the paper bag. And I added some journaling cards to this. And then this flips open. We got that. And I added a couple more journaling cards. Or one journaling card. And I made another one of those tags using that Tim Holtz thing. And you can journal in there and journal right here. And then you turn it this way. So you turn it this way, and the next page you've got another journaling card. And this flips out this way, and you have all that space. You can put photos, or you can just journal. This paper is just absolutely beautiful. I love it. And the back here, I just tore some of the paper and add a little journaling spot right here. You can tuck other things back in there. I made this little booklet, just tied some seam binding on it. And then this, it just has a mini waterfall in here. And you can journal some more in here. I just thought it was really cute. You can add different things. You could add little photos if you wanted. Journal right there. And then on this side, I liked how that paper was, so I just used the, there's a paper in the collection where they're just little mini cards and journaling cards you can cut, and those are the ones I use. And I just made another little mini waterfall. I just used washi tape. I thought that was cute. Just something different, just to use up the rest of my scraps from the paper. I used one 6x6 pad, and then just added some of the doily and obviously the paper bag or paper book pages, and then the tea dyed and coffee dyed pages, and the junk journal part of it. Outside of that, I just used the paper collection and that one 6x6 pad, which you can get a 6x6 pad if you get it on sale. You know, you're talking like $3-4. So you got your paper, and you add just a little bit of different paper to it, then there you go. As far as the flips on my pages here, all I did was I used cards. I'm a big fan of using cards. Cards are already scored for you in the center. It's cheap to get them if you can get them in bulk, and it's thicker cardstock, so why not use them? I find them very handy, and that's what I end up going to most of the time. If you look at most of my videos, I use a lot of things dealing with cards. So that's what I used here. These flaps on the paper bags are cards, and all I did is, I will show you what I did there. Let me get a card. Hey, it's Sarah. I'm back. I'm going to show you how I did the flips on my paper bag mini, or my Junkie paper bag mini. These are the celebrated bags, the larger size. I cut some of this off. Pretty sure they're 9. Could be wrong though. I don't have another bag handy to let you know what it actually is. I'm pretty sure they're 9 by 4 3/4. So I cut it to 8 1/4. I just figured that would be a decent size. I got that measurement for the actual bag being 6 3/4, because I knew I was going to use 6-inch paper, and I knew that would give me some leeway. So how I did the flaps, meaning these, is I used the card and I scored it at it's already pre-scored at 5. So I scored it at 4 and 4.5. And then I come over here and scored it at 9. And what that does is it leaves a 1/2-inch hinge on both the flaps. And also this side was going to be 1 inch bigger. So I just left that for a pocket. Or a little tuck spot. As you can see right here, that's what you end up with, is a little tuck spot. So then also on the very first page, the very first bag, this flip and that flip is, all I did was I took this one over here, that was just the 4.5, and I turned it and I just cut it. I scored it at 4, well, I just cut it at 4, and that left a 4-inch flap and a 2.5-inch flap. So that's how I got those two. And that's basically how I got the flips on the paper bags. So by using the cards right there was, you know, it was really easy to do, and you're not digging into your cardstock stash. Not that it would be a big deal, but I had a bunch of these envelopes I bought at Michael's when they come on sale. Every once in a while you can get the 40 pack. I got them for, I think it was $2.50, and that's cheap. So, and you can do a lot of things with cards. I have other videos that you can watch that show about what I do with cards, and I incorporate cards in a lot of my stuff that I do. That I do. So also, I made this little booklet out of scraps that I had left. First off, this little booklet that I made back here, this is using the back of the paper pad. When I say I use all of it, I used all of it. So the back of this this back piece is actually the covers for this, and this one is using this as the covers. When I went to tear it off, I tore off a little piece, so it's not quite as well, I only used this part here, and then I ended up, yeah, because I tore this piece right here, so I ended up just using this part right here that had the pictures on it, and it's scored right in the middle, so you don't really see that part of it. But yeah, I use the covers quite a bit actually when I'm doing an album, because I try to use all of the paper. That way I don't have any left over. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I do use scraps, and if I make junk journals that I've been doing here lately, which I really do like, I use a lot of my scraps in those. Mainly, I found that most junk journals that I've been watching on YouTube, or just my experience here in the short little while of doing it, you can't necessarily use the thicker paper, or you're gonna have a really, really thick album. So I don't normally buy like really thin paper, for the fact that when I do mini albums, I like the thicker paper. I think it has a lot of weight to it, and when you add it to your cardstock, then you actually have double the thickness and the durability. So I don't really buy thin paper very much. There is quite a cute selection out there though, for the thinner paper, and with doing the junk journals, that's the kind that you would most likely want. I think the double-sided papers, they're more of the cardstock. I haven't really seen a lot of the thinner paper be double-sided, so, which is not a bad thing, because if you're doing a junk journal, then, you know, on the back side that is blank, you can use that for journaling. So, it's a win-win there. So, I'm not gonna ramble no more. I just wanted to share this little tidbit with you. I wanted to show you the inside of this, though. Duh. So, basically, I used one of Tim Holtz's dies, and I cut that out. All I did was I inked it up with Distress Vintage Photo, and then I inked around the sides with black soot. And I just added a magnet to the inside. I covered them with these stickers. And then I just added some tea paper, maybe flip, one of those journaling cards, and a coffee dyed envelope. You can have a little tuck spot there, and then it's open. Paper or book page, glassine bag with a little side pocket, a little tuck spot here, or just a flap here, and this is journaling spot, and then that's the middle of it, and then you can journal right here, little pocket there, with tea dye paper, glassine bag, book page, other part of the envelope, open at the top for a tag, and the other journaling card, and some more. Made a pocket here, tea dyed paper, and then this is a little tuck spot back here for the actual closure. But yeah, that's just a little booklet I had left over. It's too thick to go in the album. The album's already really thick, so I just made this. If I make another, I have like 3 more pads of this paper, so I'll be making another mini, and probably a bigger, thicker mini, and I'll just add it to that if I have room for it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, and I guess I'll see you when I see you. Later.